I have 2 kids. They are both very picky eaters. And so to find something that everybody wants to eat for dinner at the same time can be very difficult, okay? The other night though, I had tested this recipe that I was creating for chicken meatballs for kids. No onions, no green stuff, still a good amount of flavor, but great for kids. My son was bound and determined not to eat these, but I was like, everybody has to eat them because I need you to test them as children to see if you like them. So I made him a plate. He ate 1 meatball, ate the rest of his meatballs, and then asked for seconds. So you know these meatballs are good. They're great for adults and they're great for kids. So stick around today because we're making chicken meatballs for kids for dinner. We're gonna start this recipe by making a panade, which is basically a mixture of a starch and a liquid to keep a ground meat recipe nice and juicy. So we'll do this with a 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs, a 1/4 cup of milk, a teaspoon of kosher salt, and we're gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. If you think that your kids can't withstand a full 1/2 teaspoon, then cut that back to just a dash. Then we're gonna add in 1 large lightly beaten egg and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. This is gonna help keep the meatballs juicy. It's also going to help them get kind of golden when they cook. Now we're gonna stir all this together and let it sit for just a couple minutes so that the breadcrumbs can absorb some of that liquid. Then we're gonna go in with 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and this is gonna add a lot of flavor. So again, if you feel like your kids can't withstand the Parmesan cheese, cut it back or you can omit the cheese completely and the recipe will still work. Now add the ground chicken to the panade mixture and mix it either with clean hands or with a fork until it all comes together and resembles a nice meatball mixture. Then you want to grab a large rimmed baking sheet. I like to line it with parchment paper because I feel like it gives the meatballs a nice golden color on the bottom when you bake them. So I like to do my meatballs by portioning them out with a cookie scoop. It's a great tool for meatballs. Portion them all out so you know that you've used all of the meatball mixture and then roll them. When you're working with ground chicken, it can be very sticky. So I highly recommend having a little bowl of water or doing this by the sink and wetting your hands a little bit at a time and then rolling the meatballs. That way the chicken won't stick to your hands, it will all stay together. Once those are all rolled, I like to spray the tops with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray or cooking oil. That just helps the tops become a little more golden when they're baking. So we're gonna pop these in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes until they are completely baked through. My whole kitchen smells incredible. Oh my gosh, even my kids were like, what are you making for dinner? It smells so good. Yep, chicken meatballs for kids, people. That's where it's at. So they baked up perfectly. You wanna make sure that they bake to 165 degrees internal temperature because it is chicken. Using that parchment paper, they get nice and golden. Oh my gosh, they are so tender. They get nice and golden on the bottom, but the top still stays pretty white. What I did is I broiled them for the last like 2 minutes just to give them a little bit of golden color on the top. My mouth is watering. So these are still smoking hot. Oh, they are juicy and delicious and perfect for dinner with your picky kids, okay? Even your not picky kids are gonna love these. So I really hope that you make these for dinner and that these chicken meatballs for kids help you feel like a success at dinner time. We'll see you next week for another dinner recipe.